What's up, guys? In the last few months, I played a ton of games of Lost Box, and in that time, I've learned a lot about this deck. Recently, I've had a lot of requests for a series to teach you guys how some of the things I've learned about Lost Box, especially considering how it already looks to be one of the best decks in Japan post-rotation. I've tried to make this series as general as possible so it can be applied to post-rotation. In this video is an explanation with examples from my own games, from my own stream, and from official tournaments, explaining how you should play Lost Box. In this episode, I'll be going over prize mapping, which is of great importance, especially considering the impact of Sableye damage. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you learn something from this series. So enjoy the video, guys. So the way this video is going to work, I'm going to put a situation on the screen. You can look at it here. What would you do in this situation? I'm going to talk about concepts, and then we're going to link it to what is on the screen. So, the main thing that I'm going to go over in this video is prize mapping, and the main thing that comes with that is where should you put your Sableye damage, and what should you attack with. Those are the two main things. Where do you attack? Where does your Sableye damage go? Sometimes you need to make decisions with your Greninja damage, but a lot of the time you're going to be attacking the active, attacking whatever's in the active, and just work out a way to make the prizes come together in the late game with this deck. Like escape ropes are sometimes optimal, but like for example in the early game, if you're hitting a Guru, you're hitting anything like that, you're going to be hitting the active with Cramorant. And then you can work out where your big attacks, like if you play the Seal Stone, where your Seal Stone attack is coming from. But that's in pre-rotation, in post-rotation, wherever your attacks are coming from there, the concepts are going to come here. So if we look at the situation on screen, how do you win? What is the way you put damage with the Sableye? There's some appealing looking plays here. So you can take a prize killing the Guru or the Manaphy. You can put damage on the Stoutland. So you can put damage on the Stoutland so it doesn't become an issue later. Like you can cram it instead of having to use a big Zamazenta attack to kill it, which can be difficult to hit if they go Marnie. But yeah, looking at our prizes, our opponent's on 4 prizes. We realistically only have 3 turns left in this game. This attack and then 2 more to win it. We have the Seal Stone in this deck. How are we gonna come up with this one? So yeah, you could definitely consider putting damage on the Stoutland, but in this situation you literally can't, because you simply won't win the game fast enough if you do that. They'll win before you. So you can't do that. So we're gonna have to kill the Manaphy or the Oranguru, and so in situations like this, you have to very meticulously plan what you're going to do. So in this situation, you have a pretty obvious win condition. You have kill a 1-prizer, kill the Stoutland with Zamazenta, and then Raikou Seal Stone with maybe Boss, kill the Lugia. That'll be the the main concept here. So thinking about, well, does that plan involve something that I'm going to need to kill Manaphy for? No. Do I need the extra 50 damage? Well, I mean, if Dunsparce comes into play, you might need to Raikou kill the Lugia, but you almost certainly won't because Raikou does do enough damage regardless. So you don't worry about that. Here, I would kill the Guru, all 12 from the Sableye to the Oranguru. No reason to put damage anywhere else, because of how that you prize map in this situation. Yeah, that'd be exactly what I do. And so if we look at the next situation, which I'll go over to. Now, in this one, we are still going to be explaining the same concept. How do you win this game? So something that's really good in the Vikavolt matchup is killing Zapdos, because if you kill Zapdos, it makes it very hard for them to kill your Sableyes, to kill your Comfies, to kill your other Pokemon. So you do have to be very you have to keep that in mind, that killing Zapdos is an amazing play when you can hit Sableye. But in this situation, what do you kill? Do you kill the Zapdos? You put damage on Mew? Do you kill the Raikou? Those are going to be our main plays. Opponents on 3 prizes, we're on 6. So again, 3 attacks to win the game. Exact same as the last situation. But yeah, where do you put this damage? The card on the very right, if I move this image over, is a Snorlax, but it is mostly irrelevant here. Yeah, what do you do? So I would say, also considering you played Roxanne, I'd say you have to come up with a plan, and you have to come up with a way you're going to win. So the way we're going to win is we're going to take 3 V knockouts in 3 turns, right? It's the only way to win. There's no Kyogre in this deck. If there was, then you'd have more options. But even then, you wouldn't really have that many options to even kill Zapdos here. I probably still wouldn't recommend it, even though it does have a lot of strength. And also, like, the reason you kill Zapdos is because it becomes really hard for them to kill your Sableye in return without breaking the item lock, giving you items. But here, if you get items, you can't actually do anything with that if you kill the Zapdos, because you're not going to be able to win fast enough. So you have to come up with a better play, and that is kill the Raikou here. 30 damage to the active so you can attack with your Snorlax on the following turn that is in the hand to knock out the active Vikavolt, and then you're going to kill the last Vikavolt with something like a Zamazenta. Um, and that'll be how you take all six prizes. Because the issue for them is you just Roxanne them. They can't really paralyzing bolt, kill the Sableye, and yeah, and yeah, they can't paralyzing bolt and kill the Sableye. So they can't item lock and do that. And there's sort of these intricacies that you sort of have to understand with these matchups that will allow you to implement your very specific planning. And it's yeah, meticulous planning. They'll help you with Lost Box, and that is something you just have to play out the games in every format. Post rotational be different to this format in the ways that you can take advantage of certain decks' weaknesses. And this is certainly one of those situations. Um, just kill the Raikou. They'll probably have to break item lock. Then you get Zabazenta in the active, and they're gonna have to break the item lock again to win the game. So yeah, that was prize checking. I'll go into more specific Lost Box Mirror in the next scenario. So the Lost Box Mirror is a matchup that will stay post rotation. So that's definitely something to the Lost Box Mirror is something you're gonna have to know. You're gonna have to keep in mind. And so I've got this situation where we're putting damage with Sableye. Now Sableye damage in the mirror is very interesting, and I have a few key plans that you can go for. So you basically the main two attackers in this matchup, or main three actually. I mean you've got the Cramorant as well, which is your early prize taker, which is very very good to take prizes at basically any point that you can't use Greninja or you're not yet at 10 in the Lost Zone. Cram will be your go-to. But um, so in this situation, I'm ready at 10 the Lost Zone. I've got a Sableye attack. Where does the damage go? So, what are our main objectives? So, if we look at the prizes, I'm on 4, opponent on 4, I'm winning. So, I'm winning the game. I don't actually need to race my opponent to take an extra prizes here. All I need to do is just stabilize the board position, and make it so it's as difficult as possible for my opponent to take two prizes in one turn. So how will I do that in this situation? Well, the way you're going to do that is to put pressure on them as well. If you make them burn their nets, make them, yeah, make it hard for them to even attack with Sableye, while not being able to give up two prizes themselves. That's going to be your most efficient way. To do that. So you definitely want to kill the Sableye here because the Sableye is a threat. They may not be able to recover Sableye. Yeah, things like that. Definitely want to be killing the Sableye. But the question is, where do the remaining 4 damage go? Now, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen like, you put, well, in this situation, you might kill the Manaphy and put damage on the Oranguru. It's plays I've seen here. Um, but and putting like 1 damage on each of these is a play I've seen. But in my opinion, the best play is to put 20 on, you'd put the 20 on this Comfy and 20 on this. I mean, 20 on, yeah, 20 on the Comfy, 20 on the Manaphy. Because not only, if you do that, does it make it so that if the like you'll say like can easily take 2 prizes if they kind of net their Manaphy out of play to not rebench it to not play around to play around Sableye for the following turn so that they don't have to heal as much, you can still they won't be able to attack with Sableye without you killing 2 with Greninja. So in my opinion, the best play almost always is to put damage on the Comfies and the Manaphies, and like the Sableyes. Like if I wasn't killing the Sableye here, I would go 70 to Manaphy, 20 to Comfy, 30 to Sableye instead, if you can contextualize that. To just you want to put the Pokemon down to 50 HP so that you can kill the 50 HP Pokemon and the Manaphy in the same turn when it comes down onto the bench if they don't heal. So you're basically forcing them to find the heal cards, which is the most difficult for them. And it really puts pressure on their situation and on their board, yeah, to find those heal cards and also like to rebench their Pokemon, their utility Pokemon like their Comfies, their Manaphys. Yeah, the Manaphy specifically, because they already have pressure to rebench that and net it and rebench it, which is not something they want to do. In this matchup, if you play Scoop Up Net, you want to be picking up that Pokemon and putting it in your hand so you don't have to rebench it. You see, from my position, my board position, I only have 1 Comfy on board because I don't want 2 Comfies on board because I know how much of the liability that can be if your opponent can put more damage on them later into the game. So, yeah, making it difficult for them to bench Sableye, because if they net the Manaphy, then they can't bench Sableye while playing around Greninja, is sort of the main concept here. So, yeah, you want to put damage on the Manaphy, damage on something else, make them heal it and rebench it with their net, or even if they have to go switch card, that's 1 less Comfy they're going to get, 1 less resource in their hand. Hope you guys didn't hear that. But, had a bit of a notification. Yeah, that's the That's the concept for the Lost Box Mirror, and that'll actually come up a lot with the Sableye damage, is putting damage on the Comfies, putting damage on the Manaphy, especially in the next format where there are less heal cards. There is no scoop up net. You want to be putting damage on those Pokemon, making them heal them. Um, so because the scariest thing is yeah, Manaphy in general, and also um if you're ahead, you just kill Manaphy, 20 to both Comfy. They got to rebench their Manaphy. They're in a terrible spot. Um, so yeah, that's a little bit of advice on Sableye damage in the Lost Box Mirror. Um, and yeah, on to the final game, final situation. So here's the final situation, and this is a more complex situation of prize mapping in general, with a lot of options here. So based on our hand, let's just say we haven't used Greninja, we haven't used Oranguru. If we wanted to, we could Sableye this turn. Is the concept I wanna say. Um, let's just say if we wanted to, we could, but just think about what's the best attack here to use. To yeah, play around. Well, basically to win this game. Our opponent's on 4 prizes, so same as before. We've got 3 turns here. We're in a bit of a better situation than in that one. Already taken a prize, and we have a Zamazenta attack at worst here. But what is the best attack? Is it Greninja? Is it Zamazenta? What is the best attack for prize mapping? You can think about yourself. I'll answer it. You're supposed to attack with, I mean, Zamazenta here, but there are, while obvious, there are more specific reasons. So if your opponent goes for a wild tackle, it actually gets very scary, very, very fast. If your opponent goes for a wild tackle, killing your Zamazenta, you won't have a way to easily respond to that Stoutland that's in the active, and it can take 2 prizes on the next turn. If you're not going for an efficient attack, it's not great. And even if the Stoutland boss is around you, you only have 2 turns to take those 3 prizes, which can be really difficult as well. Not as difficult because you already have the Zama set up. And that's basically the main advantage of setting up the Zamazenta, is just think, what is your opponent going to do if you do this? Well, they're going to probably wild tackle it. That's going to be their best play. Either that, or they're going to kill it with the Radiant Charizard, which isn't as good of a play. For another reason that you can just attack with a Greninja, right? You can attack with a Greninja in either case. If you attack with the Zamazenta. Now, in this matchup, using the Greninja as an attacker in situations like this is actually incredibly good. Like here, I could put damage on the Archeops and the Oranguru. I could use Sableye to kill both, and then I could use Raikou and Sealstone to kill the Lugia the turn after, right? But the issue with that play, I think the main issue with that play is the Zamazenta, because the prize mapping lines up so cleanly, to go like next turn boss Greninja, and then use Greninja's attack, and we can already set up the Greninja here, preset it up with the extra Mirage Gate that we have. We have two Mirage Gates, and we only need to use 1 here. So we can just preset up the Greninja to guarantee attack next turn. They have to kill the Zamazenta because the Zamazenta is a massive threat to our board, and we only have 3 prizes left. So we are just winning a prize exchange here. So yeah, focusing on the prize trade, because in situations where you're losing, you always want to be attacking with, like in situations where the game is unclear and you think that you're losing a prize trade, you want to definitely go for Greninja to just make it more difficult for your opponent. You go Greninja, hit the Stoutland, hit the Archeops here. What does your opponent do? Well, they have to maybe boss Stoutland, which is kind of an annoying play. Then you already have the Zamazenta set up. You can go for a Sableye. You can go for a lot of things. To kill the Stoutland and win the prize trade with maybe Raikou Sealstone the following turn. But it is way more clear in this game because you can plan out your prize trade and be like, okay, I took with Zamazenta. Next turn he promotes the Radiant Charizard or the Stoutland. I can go boss the Radiant Charizard. Greninja, kill the Radiant Charizard, put damage on the Stoutland. You just want to go for that clarity, and this sort of goes into the safer way to win versus making the game more unclear if you let your Greninja die. You lose concealed cards. There's a lot that can go wrong there. Technically, Greninja is good because they can't Stoutland it, but yeah. So that'll be it for the video. I hope you learned something about prize mapping in this deck. Hopefully it was worth your time. If you enjoyed the video, drop a sub. I really appreciate it. Like, all the good stuff. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think I should do for the rest of this series. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.